the devil's whatever. Those are all make-believe.
He asked twice for you.
Tell Tony and Paulie, 3 o'clock.
I recently published a video about Paulie's post-Italy identity crisis. This video is about the supernatural and spiritual aspects of Paulie's journey.
Patron saint of Zapolis.
Paulie sees things as transactional in nature. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. I donate money to the church, you protect me spiritually.
When the organ needed a rejob, who was there? When the priests and the altar boys needed new whites, who picked up the tab?
It's not about how he lives his life in general, just as long as he pays his spiritual tab. Or at least that's what he thought.
Was it hot?
Yeah, I don't know.
The heat would have been the first thing you noticed. Hell is hot. That's never been disputed by anybody. You didn't go to hell. You went to purgatory, my friend.
When Christopher first tells Paulie and Tony the story about him going to hell and seeing Mikey Palmice and 3 o'clock, Paulie's not too worried. He thinks Christopher may have misunderstood his trip.
And then Mikey gave me a message for both of you.
A message?
Yeah. Yeah, he said, tell Tony and Paulie, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock?
This fucking morphine drip, I don't think it's working.
In a sad way, it would make sense that Christopher would visit hell and come back with an increased tendency to rely on opioids and later heroin. That became his own kind of personal hell. But when Paulie goes to visit a psychic, his worst fears seem to be confirmed.
There's no denying it. I'm dragging a bunch of fucking ghouls around with me. Mikey's their fucking ringleader.
Charles Pagano. He says he was your first. But I feel many more.
Hey!
That one's laughing.
I doubt Paulie would be laughing if he saw this sign on the lawn of Christopher's future house.
Poison ivy?
When Paulie and Chrissy run after Mikey Palmice in the season 1 finale, it's like a warm-up for Pine Barrens.
He wants to know if it still itches.
I can feel it itching me already. But that's what this is, you know. Satanic black magic. Sick shit.
You should have never gone to a psychic. It's divination. It's the devil.
The devil's whatever. Those are all make-believe. It's too late. You've been slacking off on me, and you left me unprotected. I'm cutting you off for good. You ain't never gonna see another dime.
Later on in the ride, Paulie gets pissed because the church, a different priest, is asking them for more money to run the feast of St. Elzear. To get back at them, Paulie doesn't put St. Elzear's gold hat on, which causes a big stink. He also causes some problems by not paying to have one of the rides fixed, which ends up leading to even more issues.
Here he comes! God bless you, St. Elzear! Where's his gold hat?
Why, he got nerve damage! Go ahead, it's over.
The Holy Society of St. Elzear, of which you are recording secretary.
That's hilarious that Paulie's the recording secretary, because remember, Paulie doesn't write nothing down.
So I'll keep this short and sweet. You're weak. You're out of control.
I sense there's a possible criminal element in this neighborhood that could endanger this precious piece of local history.
To give some background on St. Elzear, for Catholics, St. Elzear is remembered as a model of holiness in everyday life. Unlike many saints who were priests or monks, Elzear was a married nobleman who demonstrated that sainthood could be lived through ordinary responsibilities, family life, and service to others.
Stay single as long as you can.
Oh, come on. What are you saying?
Oh, no offense. But ask me, marriage and that thing don't jive.
You know, we had to move my father to another old folks' home.
I got my own fucking problems.
$2,000 for a woman I don't even know.
Paulie!
Not exactly the traits we see from Paulie Walnuts throughout the show.
Will you listen to this? Fuck that voodoo, eh?
While we're on the subject of a higher power and spirituality, there's a scene where Christopher tells someone that he thought the mafia oath would be his higher power and his strength. And who was at the center of this? Tony Soprano. In a way, Tony was like this figure of higher power, of authority.
If you got a problem, You just gotta let somebody know. This man right here, he's like your father. It doesn't matter if it's with somebody here or on the outside. You bring it to him, he'll solve it.
So when Tony pulls the painting off the wall, it was like destroying Paulie's way of making sense of a big part of his life and identity. If anything, it probably made him want to seek comfort and belonging from his other family, and particularly his ma. So then a few episodes later, when he finds out his ma wasn't actually his ma, well, it's not good.
But Ma,
Maria Lucia is your aunt. I'm your ma.
He has no fucking conception.
I never told this to another living soul, but...
Yeah?
One time at the Bing, I saw the Virgin Mary.
It's a reminder that he can't escape judgment. Seeing the Virgin Mary inside Bada Bing of all places suggests that the sacred and the propane has invaded the world where Paulie feels safest. It also can symbolize the mother figure. Paulie's emotional life revolves around Nucci.
Safety first. They're gonna wait on you hand and foot around here.
Even after learning she isn't his biological mom, they eventually reconcile because she represents unconditional love and stability. The Virgin Mary, in Catholic tradition, is often viewed as the ultimate mother figure. So for Paulie, seeing the Virgin Mary may symbolize maternal comfort, protection, forgiveness, as well as his fear of losing his connection to family. And this becomes even more powerful with Nucci's death.
It must be very hard for you. I know how close the two of you would become again.
Yeah. Not much of a send-off here.
The room is beautiful, Paulie.
Nobody's in it. What kind of testament is this to the spirit and generosity of the woman?
We're here for you, Paulie.
When we first see Paulie at the hospital, he was optimistic, or at least that's what he presented on the outside.
I could do that standing on my head. It's like a couple of days here.
But by the end, when we see him in the hospital, he feels very defeated.
Worst thing, I'm not who I am. It's like my whole life is a joke. Amazing thing about snakes is that they reproduce spontaneously.
What do you mean?
They have both male and female sex organs. That's why somebody you don't trust, you call a snake. How can you trust a guy who can literally go fuck themselves?
He was at the safe house. We brought him over.
These are snakes with fur. The old Italians will tell you. You can't even put them around the baby. They suck the breath right out.
At the end of Remember When Paulie and Tony come back from Florida, Paulie has a dream where he walks into his house and he says,
"What does it take to get something to eat?"
It's interesting because we know Paulie lives alone, so that's not something he would normally say when walking in the door of his house. And just like how Puss talks to Tony in his dreams, and Tony even sees Puss's ghost at one point, here, Paulie's talking to a dream Puss, or a ghost Puss as well. He says, "When my time comes, tell me, will I stand up?" Well, if this is any indication, I'd say that looks like a solid no. As much as Paulie may have tried to set aside the whole 3 o'clock message once he couldn't figure out what it was, it definitely contributes to his spiritual anxiety, especially as we get closer and closer to the end. There are a few different theories about this 3 o'clock mystery, but one of the most famous interpretations concerns the final scene in the series finale. In the last scene at Holston's, man in the members only jacket walks toward the bathroom located at approximately Tony's 3 o'clock position. So according to this theory, Christopher's message was actually warning about Tony's death. On the other hand, 3 o'clock might not be a literal direction, but instead may symbolize the inevitability of death, a constant anxiety that defines life when you're in the mob.
Always comes in threes, huh? And then there's the Holy Trinity. You think that's a coincidence?
Of course, 3 o'clock could just mean 3 o'clock.
Nothing I can think of. Except it's Tuesday, 3 o'clock.
3 pops. Within a tight time frame, 24 hours. So there's no chance for them to hit back. Top 3 guys.
Paulie got the area?
No.
Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear from you.